Hello, you absolute legends. Talking of absolute legends, here's one. It's Dad. Welcome back to the channel. John here on a windy, horrible, stormy day here in Lincolnshire. Storm Kieran has battered us overnight. But in this video, let's talk flange. Yeah, let's talk flange. We are fitting a new flange to the Audi TT. This is the old one. It is cracked. We had a massive coolant leak on the car. And if you haven't seen that video, it's up there in the top corner right now, because I suggest you watch that first and foremost to see what the issue was. This is the old flange. It was the genuine Audi part from 2003, and it was leaking from a crack in the moulding here. You can just about see it. And here is the new one, which Dad has started to reassemble. There's an O-ring in here, and there's a temperature. What is this thing?
It's a temperature transmitter.
Temperature transmitter, that's it. That he's put back into place here. Fingers crossed. I don't want to say it, but fingers crossed this is going to be a relatively easy fix. This is the replacement part. It's a Febby Bilstein part. Part number 29886 if you need one for yourself. This cost me 12 quid. And it came relatively quick. Bought it off eBay. It came in a couple of days. So in theory, replacing it is 2 hex bolts here and here onto the block, and then just attaching all of the pipework back onto the car, putting all the plastics and airbox back in, and re-putting the coolant back in. So these funny little Audi TTs use specific coolant. It's called G12 Plus nowadays, because they've actually superseded the G12. They then went to G13, and then G13 was superseded with 12 Plus. I don't understand it, I don't know, but that is the coolant. It's pre-mixed, so we're going to have to put that back in here. Right, let's just show you the situation. Here's a light. We can see where we've got to attach it back to on the block. This is where it goes to here. It bolts on here and here. Dad's just scratched that up.
Scratched it.
No, cleaned it up. You know what I mean. Not scratched it up, but cleaned it up with something to just, I suppose, make sure there's no dust or dirt or rust that's going to stop that from sitting flush against the block. And then it's going to be a case of putting the pipes back on. Let's get it done. So Dad's located the hex bolts on the block. And now it's a case of just tightening them up, not doing them too tight until we've got everything connected, because the last thing we want is for there not to be any manoeuvrability. The flange is on the car. Dad is refitting the hoses. I wanted to show you this, which is a spring clip compression tool. It is effectively an easy way for fitting spring clips and removing spring clips instead of using a pair of pliers. It clips onto the clip, and then using a pull wire technique, it applies even pressure to the clip and pulls it off. Thought you'd be interested in that. 2 of the pipes are on, the one on the left hand side, the larger one, and the one on the right. We've got the one on the bottom to refit, which is, if you remember from the last video, is one that had deteriorated quite a bit, and so it doesn't have a spring clip. It has a Jubilee clip on. Best practice is they should have spring clips. That is to apply even pressure, and is because you're fitting obviously a pipe against a plastic part. And the next thing to be doing will be fitting that plug back in onto the temperature sender, and then tighten it all up, fill the system up, and go from there. That's it then. All the pipes are on. We've used the spring clips on the first 2, and I had to use a Jubilee clip on the last one due to the fact that it's not got the original end on it, and it was an absolute devil to get back on there and fit, so we've popped a Jubilee clip on there just in case. Dad's tightening the hex nuts up onto what are they? Allen keys? Well, hex nuts, right? Hex nut, Allen key, same thing. Oh, I'm going to get loads of people shouting at me now in the comments. And then it is a case of filling up the coolant system, making sure the levels are right, and putting all the trim back on.
In Lincolnshire, we call them boats.
Boats. Why do you call them boats in Lincolnshire?
That's what they are, the boats.
I don't know where that's come from.
The boats. Put the boats in.
Put the boats in. Fair enough. That should, in theory, have solved the problem. We will soon find out. It will be a case of getting it under pressure, getting it warm, getting the coolant in, and seeing if there's any leaks. No doubt, like anything Audi TT related, we're going to have fixed that, and it's going to have moved the problem somewhere else. But touch wood for now, will stop the coolant from leaking all over the floor. And it was a massive leak. If you haven't seen the previous video, I do suggest you watch that, because you will see just how much coolant was being lost. What are you chuntering on about?
Feel free to visit Lincolnshire.
It's a good place to be, Lincolnshire. It's my favourite place.
Get to go home again.
You can't say that. Come and visit, but don't stay, is what Dad's saying. Let's have a look, because it's cleared up a bit now out there. Yeah, it's getting all right. It's all right for November. And there's the TT. Right, let's get that all done and dusted. Get it fired up.
We never had Audis round here in my day.
And go from there. We've not put it all back together. We've just put the air box scoop back onto the turbo intake pipe, so we can have the airflow meter on, just to spin the car up, just to make sure that it's working properly. And just while we're testing it, would be a ridiculous thing to do, to put it all back together and then find that there's an issue. So that's back on. We'll give it a test. Time to put some coolant in. We're going to fill it up. It will need some more. It will go down as it goes through the system, because, well, it all went on the floor when we emptied it. Coolant's topped up. We will probably need to top it up again once we've fired it up in bits and pieces. But let's spin her over. Let's fire her up and make sure there's no massive leaks. First thing to do is to make sure we've not got a coolant warning light. No, we haven't. That's good news, isn't it? It's telling me the door's open, because it is. Oh no! The car won't start. The battery isn't great. Well, it wasn't that bad, but it's been sat for a couple of weeks. Oh, Dad's had the battery on charge. How long you had the battery on charge?
A couple of days.
Oh dear, so the battery is really no good. You need to give the car a good old repair of a new battery. It does need a new battery. Ignition is off. Jumper off, Dad. There we go. We're going to get that on there. We do need a new battery, which is a shame, because they're about 100 quid. Right, here we go. Ready? There she goes. Jump packs off. So we're going to take the engine up to pressure, get her warm, make sure that everything's reading right, make sure there's no leaks, and put it back together. Pressure's on, pressure's up. No leaks so far. We've got the car up to temperature. There is a little chitter from the exhaust manifold somewhere, but I'm not worried about that right now. Dad's going to check the flange, see if there's any leaks from where it was, if you remember. Looks good so far. Time will tell. All tested, no leaks. That's a good thing. Now to put it back together. Airbox in, air filter, of course, the cover, battery cover, engine cover, and then I suppose that's it. Airbox is back on. I'm just screwing it back into place. This Jubilee clip is all nice and tight. The airflow meter is back on. Engine covers to go on, battery cover to go on. Then we're done. And that's it. It's back together. Flange is in. Coolant is looking good. The temperature sensor is back on there. This is all back together. All the engine stuff is back on. We do need a new battery. That is the next job. But I'm going to let it cool down a little bit, check the coolant levels, and just hope that has solved the problem. Thanks to Dad, as ever, for his work on the TT. He's going to be sick to death of this by the time we get it finished. Yeah, Dad's a fan of the MR2. I'm a fan of this. We shall see. MR2's for sale, by the way, if you're watching this, November 2023. It's on Car and Classic at the moment. Check it out if you fancy it. If you've enjoyed the video, thumbs up please. What could go wrong next? Who knows? There's things we do need to do. We need to look at the back brakes. Need to look at the hubs on the back as well, but that is a job not for now, potentially in the new year. Have a great day, whatever you're getting up to. Take care. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I'm sure there'll be plenty more TT content on the way. Take care. Bye-bye.